Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Conversation is Art, the Val and Val show. However, you're missing one Val. I'm the only one here tonight. So I want to say hello to my co host, Valton. I gave him time off tonight. He's been doing a lot. So I told him to just chill. As you all can see, you may be looking at this strange background, and you may also notice that our opening song did not come on because guess what? I am not at home. But I brought my laptop to the location that I'm at, and guess what? It is acting crazy. So guess what we've done? We're moving right along because I brought this tablet. So we're gonna let the church roll on. Tonight we have a wonderful, awesome guest, and I'm gonna let her tell you, exactly who she is and what she does. Her name is Toyin, and I hope I say this right, Ajayi. She also has I would say it's not a alter ego, but it's her nickname from her family, Da Vinci, which I think her sister gave her. She'll tell you about that also. And as you saw our flyer, you saw it said Outdoorsy Black Women. Now I wonder what that's about. Because some of you all don't like to get outdoors, but you can be a girly outdoorsy, which you will find. So, Miss Toyin, gonna bring you in. And I didn't give a whole fanfare about you because I think you're the expert on telling folks who you are. So
All right.
welcome, welcome.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. You are so right about those outdoorsy Black women. You don't have to be, um, what they say, Annie Oakley. You don't have to be Paul Bunyan. But outdoorsy Black women is definitely about redefining and kind of understanding that the conventional way that most of us think of the outdoors is not the only definition of being outdoorsy. So it is a social network created specifically for Black women, hence outdoorsy Black women. It's
Okay.
free. Yeah, it's free to join the community. So that's also something that I like to let everybody know.
Hmm. Okay, so specifically since you say it's for black women,
Mhm.
what led you to start this Outdoorsy Black Women?
Well, initially, I was actually getting ready to start my own RV full-time RV journey. So I am a full-time RVer,
What?
and as I thought about starting that journey, I wanted to find more women out there that were like me because this was around the time that the election was happening, and more of us were kind of on edge and wondering where could we go that was safe for Black campers or, you know, if specific campgrounds were safe. And as I noticed that was happening more and people had more of those questions, I decided to just go ahead and start a community for us where we could have those open conversations and truly be inspired by each other because we are out there. We don't always know where to find each other, right? But
Yeah.
we're doing it.
And you all know that's something to talk about a little bit more, Tony, is that sometimes when we create spaces, it's viewed as a negative thing.
Right.
But when other people have their own spaces, it's okay. So, in you creating this, have you experienced any pushback about why do you have something for black women now?
It's an interesting thing. I don't know what it is, but when it comes to Black people in general having their own spaces, it makes other people uncomfortable. So I definitely have received pushback. And I'll say this, even Black men are like, why do you want to separate yourself from other Black men? Now, I or from Black people. So they want to know why I'm separating both. But I will say I've had some Black men that have been supportive too, but I think I've had pushback from anybody who it's not for, to be honest with you.
Okay. Okay. So have you handled that and managed that, navigated that?
Honestly, I just don't pay them any mind.
Hey,
Because
that's the way to navigate.
when I went into this, I went into creating this space for Black women, knowing that one, we need it. It's a necessity. It's really about sisterhood, Black women coming together and encouraging each other. It's such a positive space that we don't have time to worry about the haters, as they say. And so even when people don't understand it or they have pushback, I don't worry about it because it's really not for them. As long as the community who I've created it for, love it and feel comfortable and safe.
And you all, I wish they had the capability to show you this beautiful lodge and this park RV, well, I guess camping grounds that we're on.
Yeah.
Uh, and do you want to tell the people where we are?
Yeah, we are. Well, I'll tell you, we're in Helen, Georgia. I won't tell the exact location, but
Location.
we are in Helen and we have amazing views of the mountains around us.
Yes.
And we have our glamping setups that are actually happening right now as we speak. All of the glamping setups are being put together, and the ladies are going to be able to do some s'mores and campfire chats tomorrow on Saturday. So,
Yeah.
but you can see some of the mountain views. It's beautiful out here. When you came here and you got here, didn't you feel like a sense of calm?
Oh yes, I did. Driving in, me and my friend, we were talking. It was like, I was like, Birmingham, where I'm from,
Mhm.
we call it the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains are there. And always leaving Birmingham, heading to Georgia, as soon as I see the mountains, it's almost like a exhale
Right,
I take.
right.
And then as we were
Just breathe.
driving up to Helen, it was like
Yeah,
any type of anxiety, worry, or
just leaves.
negative thought I had.
It just
And then
leaves.
when I got out of the car, it was like this cool breeze. I was looking for the ocean. I was like, wow. And it reminded me so much of growing up because, like I said, I grew up in a very rural
Mhm,
area on a farm. My dad, we had animals. We also farmed and
mhm,
everything. So I grew up in the earth. And
mhm.
recently, last year during COVID, started hiking. I had never done hiking before, and it's something I love. It's like just taking that long walk out in nature. Being in
Yeah.
nature is very calming. It's very calming, and I think a lot of people would benefit from it. So now, tell a little bit what you got planned. I hear you got some goodies and everything. You're gonna be
We do. We have lots of goodies, and I'm gonna show you that. I do want to comment on what you said. I love that you brought up the health aspect and the mental health aspect
Mhm.
because that's another big reason why I started Outdoorsy Black Women because
Okay.
I feel like when you get outdoors and you find whatever type of outdoors works for you, it really can be good for your mental health and your physical health. And so it's just another way of our sisters taking care of our sisters, right? And so
Yeah,
I love
for
that
sure.
you mentioned that.
And
We
we
have
have to
some
take
goodies.
care of each other. We
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean, it's a village.
and that's exactly what it is. When you mention sororities, like Outdoorsy Black Woman is another form of just sisters coming together and being our sister's keeper, right? At the end of the day. So I love that
Yeah.
you mentioned that. But in terms of goodies, so I gotta say this, our sponsors for Wine and Waterfalls weekend have been great. As I said, we have REI as a sponsor, Merrill is a sponsor. Our official wine sponsor is Ebony Wine and Spirit, which is a Black woman owned wine company.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, it's really important that as we continue to work with different brands, we do support Black business where we can. So I was really excited to work with them. But our attendees, not only are they getting a welcome kit, which has a
Wow.
bunch of goodies inside, they're also going to be getting a swag bag. And honestly, like swag, like we got them
Swag.
swag. And I have to mention this just because, and I won't open it because I want some surprises, but I love this so much. We partnered with the Queendom Beauty Box, and we have a custom beauty box that's going to be for our ladies and for this wine and waterfall weekend. As you
Wow.
can see, REI on here is our sponsor, and there are some goodies in here that work for everyday life, but also are great for if you're in the outdoors. Like, not just mention, how everybody's mama told them that you was outside and you smelled like outside when you came inside, right?
Yeah.
Like, why you smell like outside? Well, we got a little hair deodorizer in the box that's gonna make sure it takes care of that. So, and that's from Hair Sense. And like I said,
Okay.
there's so many goodies in here, so many. I will also
So
mention
basically, what you're saying with that hair scent, you just took away that I can't exercise because I can't wash my hair.
listen, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so look, y'all,
Exactly.
this is really what it is. it's a little potpourri, or if you want to say, what is it? The other word we're using now. What's when you burn the candles? What is it called?
Is
I'm
it the
tired from the ride.
I know, listen, I know. But I mean, like you said, it's taking the excuse out of why you can't be outside. There
Yeah.
are so many things. We have sunscreen from Black Girl Sunscreen, which
Wow.
a lot of times when you're using regular sunscreen, sometimes you get that white film on your skin. With Black Girl
Hmm.
Sunscreen, you don't get that because it's made for black skin. So, it's just been a pleasure to really work with amazing Black owned companies, work with wonderful sponsors like REI and Merrill, who have really been supportive of working with brands that are diverse and in an authentic way, so that's been an amazing sponsorship to have.
Yeah, it's interesting because I find it interesting when you hear people say, "Well, I like going outdoors." That was like really a great time for us. I remember growing up, my mom would get outside. She would make ice cream. We spent most of our life outside
Absolutely.
playing. I remember during the summer, I told them, I said, we would hit the streets from the sun up
And I
and get
did
this.
that. I did that too. It was like, okay, you had to come in by the time the street lights were coming on, that was the cue to come in. But you know what? And that's the key that you just mentioned. I think for Black women or just Black people, sometimes it's not that they're not outdoorsy. It's just that what they consider to be outdoorsy, they don't relate to. And that's why having a community like Outdoorsy Black Women is important. It's about giving that representation and encouraging each other to try different outdoor activities. So I always tell people, I'm like, every time we have a family reunion or we have a cookout, it's outside. That's an
Yeah,
outdoor activity. So we are outdoorsy. We just don't always find ourselves represented in the way that we do it, right?
yeah.
We go to the
Okay.
beach,
Yeah. And
so
look, everybody don't want to tromp through the woods and hike.
exactly. Exactly. So
However,
you could go to the beach. If you're going to a park, you go to an outdoor concert. These are
yeah.
outdoor activities. So it's just about finding what ways you can experience the outdoors in your way.
And I know for me, I actually enjoy outdoor concerts much better than being inside. It's much more relaxing and
Mhm.
freeing. And then also what you discover, people seem intermingle more and you get to meet different people when you're in those settings. Look, I have a funny comment. Uh Renee Rowe, who's watching, says, I love outdoors, just not the things outdoors. She's a girly girl.
That's
However,
so funny.
she's gonna be glamping with me next year.
I love
So let's
that.
talk about
I want
glamping.
y'all to glamp because I feel like so it's actually and I love this because a lot of the attendees for this year, we have a lot of first timers. And when they found out that they were going to be able to glamp amongst their sisters, it made them feel more encouraged to try it because we have
Okay.
some people who are experienced campers and some, like I said, a lot of first timers. And I think them seeing other Black women getting out there and camping and hiking and doing uh, all kinds of outdoor activities. We have a group on Outdoorsy Black Women for Black women surfers.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think just seeing other Black women, that's why that representation really matters. When you see yourself in those spaces, you feel more encouraged to do it. And you feel like, you know what, if they can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah. And we always think of like hiking. We're not
Mhm.
talking about going up Mount Everest. There are
Right.
many parks and stuff that you can just walk. And a lot of people don't think about it that way.
Right, no,
Going to
and
a
I
big
agree
park.
with you. Right, you
Yeah.
can there's so many urban, hiking trails that you could go to. Like, there's different parks that'll have, urban hiking trails. So if you don't wanna be in the mountains and you're worried about animals or other kinds of things, you just have to find trails that work for you. Or you could go walking on a beach, right? But I do wanna mention something because you pointed out Everest. So, fun fact, the first African American person, the first Black person to summit Mount Everest was a Black woman.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what's her name? Because I did not know
So
that.
Sophia Dannenberg. She was the first Black person to make it to the top of Mount Everest. So when we
Wow.
When we say, "Hey, we don't do that," I mean, we do, and we do it well, apparently.
This is me. I'm an adventurous person. I tell them I try almost anything once. Um, but it's the
Except for
fear,
bungee jumping.
and I don't
Except for
think it's so
bungee.
much the fear. I think it's like you said, especially in America. I think
Yeah,
we got cheated out of a lot of things because we go to other countries, people that look like us, and out they're doing gr- things that we probably like. Whoa, what is that?
right,
So I think it's just the exposure. I never
right,
forget we did something simple like went to Gatlinburg or something, and I
right.
wanted to go whitewater rafting. It was like, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm like, why? What
I'll
do you
go
mean?
whitewater rafting with you.
That's
I'll
what
do it with
I'm
you.
saying. As a matter of fact, driving into here, I saw this tubing place, and
Yes.
it's like,
If we had an extra day, we totally would have went tubing, just so you know. I can't wait to
well,
go out there because
you know what? I'm not gonna call a name, but this person said, you know what? I'm not getting there. Snakes, water moccasins, everything. I said, you're gonna be okay. You'll be okay. They ain't gonna bother
we
you.
will.
It's too.
Well, I will tell you that we may have some tubing coming up in Georgia soon. I'm actually
Okay.
working to see if we can get a kayaking class coming up
Wow.
soon and a possibly a stand-up paddleboarding class. But tubing
Wow.
was another possibility on the agenda because I love tubing, and one of the things is, like, tubing is so laid back, like, you could have a little drink in your cup holder, like, some of the tubes have cup holders in them, you got a backrest, and you just let the river do its work.
Now I've never done tubing, but I've been canoeing. Oh my goodness, I was wore out. When I got through, I was like,
Yes, it's a workout.
this is what I said. I said I have a new appreciation. I think it's those roars. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
And
it's a workout.
I was thinking when you have, I forgot how many of them in the boat. I said, and you got that person at the head. I'm like, whoa, you got to have some. Look, you got to go lift some weights, y'all, before you can do that. Just let me tell you, I was wore completely out when I
Mhm.
got through
And
rowing
that's why
my
I was like,
canoe.
maybe we do tubing, so if you still wanna, experience the water, just get that cool breeze, then you could
Yeah.
just, like I said, have some lemonade or iced tea and just float down the river.
You
And
know
that'll
what else?
be
And I thought about this would be outdoorsy snorkeling.
yes,
People don't. I
absolutely.
love snorkeling.
Oh, have you done any scuba diving?
I haven't. I've never done scuba diving.
Would you do it?
Yes, I do it.
You know what, Miss Val, we're gonna go on some trips together then. That's just I mean, because that's what it sounds like. I feel like we're both well, here's the question for you. Would you go skydiving? Or have you been
Yeah, I would
skydiving,
try
I should ask.
that too.
Okay,
No, I
so
haven't been
I'm
skydiving,
planning
but I
on
would try
doing
that too. And
that's good. I'm loving that because I'm planning on doing two more jumps this year.
okay, let me tell you something. We went to Las Vegas, and I'm sure you have been to Vegas.
I have.
Have you been to Vegas? Okay, so Fremont District is what I love in Vegas. I love it. And look,
Mhm.
Renee said scuba
I see.
diving. No,
Miss
we're
Renee,
from
we're
Fremont.
gonna have to ease Renee into it because she's like, mm-mm. This is the slow step. This is a baby step.
No,
This
you
is a
remember
baby
Mr.
step.
T? You remember Mr. T when they got ready to put Mr. T
Mhm.
on the on the chopper? They had to give him some medications,
We're,
and we just gonna let her wait. She'll be, but
we're
I
gonna do.
literally zip
That's probably the
line
only
down
way. And then there's no
Fremont
way to get
Street.
off the plane. That we'll just push her off the plane, and she'll make it.
Okay, what
We'll
about
meet you
skiing,
down on
Renee?
the board.
Skiing. Will you try skiing?
I'll let- I'm looking.
So it
I
makes a
haven't
big
skied
difference.
yet.
Well, look,
I'm
I'm
on
gonna
it.
change subject. You okay? Let's change the subject real quick. I was reading here that you
Mhm.
bought something. Purchase. What did you buy? Is
Oh, I
this
bought
big
an
thing on
RV.
wheels?
I bought an RV. I was looking, I'm like,
So what's the
I
plan
bought
for
an
the
RV.
RV?
So the goal is to be able to just travel across the country. And to be honest with you, I mentioned skydiving because if I can, I would love to skydive in every state. I'd love to do a jump in every state.
Okay, okay. Now I don't know what they do somewhere in Alabama. have a sky, but I do know they have a place where you can train for scuba diving because I have a friend of mine. She actually scuba dives and she goes. Her and her husband go out to different places. They fly out every year and they be out there for like 10 days. I'm talking about deep sea, scuba
I love
diving. I
that.
mean, and people say, "Well, what if this happened?" I was like, "Listen, we get on the interstate and driving these cars every day."
I Anything can happen anywhere. Like you said, cars, I don't think we understand how cars can be dangerous, but like, yeah, we do it every day. And you can't live your life in fear, right? You just gotta live your life to the fullest. And that's what I intend to do. So yes, I bought an RV and like I said, I want to travel to hopefully all of the states at some point. And I really would love to meet more outdoorsy Black women members in each state that I go to.
Look, one of my friends, Erica, said, "I would try some
Hi,
outdoorsy things,
Erica.
but I'm certainly out of shape now." You don't have to be in shape, Erica. There
You
is
don't have
something
to.
for you. So we
Yeah.
got you.
Erica, what are some things you like to do? I would love to hear. So, like, you could do some gardening. You could go chill out at a beach. That doesn't take much. And, here's the thing about hiking. There's different levels of hikes. You can start easy, moderate, and then you can go to some of the expert level hikes. But even the hike that we're doing at Wine and Waterfalls weekend on Saturday is a hike that's accessible. So even if we had a member that was in a wheelchair, they would be able to do the hike with us. So just keep that in mind. Start
Yeah.
where it works for you, and then work your way up.
Oh, I just sent her a message. I told her I'm going to reach out to you because it's okay. I'm a member of the Birmingham Mountain Hikers, and
Mhm.
it's a mixed group. And what we do, we have people that are experienced hikers and those that are not. So the way
Right.
we do it is that no matter what your experience is, somebody always takes time with the new person. And that means if they can only go so far and they have to turn around and go back. And as you do it, you'll find that every time you hike, you go a little bit further. You go a little bit
Exactly.
further.
You
And the
just
next thing you know, you get to one of the different peaks that we hiked to, and you're like, wow, I'm not even out of breath. I remember the first
yeah,
time I went and I worked out. Let me tell you all this. When you transition from one form of exercise to another, it's like starting over, okay?
absolutely. Yeah.
Walking up an incline is different from doing your boot camp class, okay? On the flat
It
ground,
it
okay?
really is. It's like it you feel it. Your body feels it, and your body's gonna let you know, "Oh, you didn't work those muscles before."
Yes, yes. It wake up some
Right,
stuff. You was like, ooh, that's a
right.
muscle right there. For sure, for sure. So look, with outdoors and black women, so how are you getting this news out to the world? Because you say you want to go and camp in all the 50
Mhm.
states. So how are you getting this out to the world that hey, I'm here. I want you to join me.
Well, I
So
would
tell us
say
how you doing.
conversation is art is a good start, right? I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, it's through social media and word of mouth, because
Okay.
the thing with building a niche community like ours, when you say it's for Black women, um, it's kind of understanding that one, there's a lot that goes into keeping it a safe space. So there's a verification process, and
Hmm.
letting other members know, like, hey, when you tell your friends or your family to join, let them know there's a verification process so that they understand that that's how we keep the community safe. But word of mouth and social media has been the way that we've been growing the community thus far. And I know the more that we do events like Wine and Waterfalls, we have another event in July called Twerk and Trails that's coming,
Oh,
and that's gonna be, twerk fitness and some hiking. It's just, again, expanding our horizons. We have Sips and Saddles coming in August, where we'll be doing some horseback riding. And I think it's just, again, as more women see themselves represented, they'll be more inclined to try it. So that's really the best way to, I think, organically get the word out at this time.
that's great. So now I understand that you have, are they called ambassadors? You're trying to
Mhm,
build
mhm.
that. So let's talk about that. Tell us about your ambassadors.
Yeah. So, I mean, the cool thing about it is we actually have members all over the country. We have some members that are in We actually just had a lady join from France, and we had a lady
Ooh,
in the UK, a couple of ladies in the UK that have joined. So, being that even though Georgia and Atlanta is our home base for Outdoorsy Black women, it we have members all over the country. So, in order to make sure that we can get different events and also hikes out to these women, we are establishing chapters all over the country, and with each chapter there'll be an ambassador that leads that chapter. So as of now, we
okay.
have ambassadors in Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, Alabama, and Colorado. But the application process is open, and we'll be doing interviews with different potential ambassadors over the next few months.
Okay, now look, where's the ambassador in Alabama? Where is she located?
She's actually in Birmingham, so
Oh, wow,
I
me.
you have to meet her, and she will be at Wine and Waterfalls, so I will make
Wow,
sure that
okay.
you two connect, because I hope you'll come out to some of our Birmingham hikes.
Okay. And I'm gonna twist this since I'm a nurse, my background's a nurse. With this, it's an opportunity for you to get active and get to moving because we cannot, we're not
Can't be
really out of
sedentary.
COVID. We're not
Right,
really out of COVID, but one of the reasons that we had higher death rates and also long-term recovery rates was
right,
because of us being not as healthy and mainly through obesity
right,
was one of those things. And you all, it doesn't take anything to walk.
right,
Walking is free. It's something along with hiking. I do. I try to walk my neighborhood twice a week now, just to get moving. Even if you not a quote unquote exerciser, you
mhm,
walk. So you
right,
already exercise because you walk. So all you got to do is just pop in your favorite music or your YouTube or your sermon or your meditation and just take out walking, and I promise you, before you realize it, 15 minutes have passed before
mhm.
you find out. So after this weekend, what's next steps? Oh, and let me say this. Thank you for having this on Mother's Day. It makes me feel all the more
No,
special.
no, that's honestly, in picking a date, I wanted it to be during Mother's Day weekend because I figured, one, we may get some mothers and daughters that come out to enjoy it together, but also just for mothers to have a chance to get away and say, you know what, this is a weekend for me. So I'm really excited about that, and happy early Mother's Day.
Thank
Um,
you.
and thank you for being
Look,
here. I'm so excited, and because if it's not fun for you guys, like, I'm biased. I planned it and I'm like, "Hey, I know this is gonna be fun." But if y'all didn't think it was fun, it wouldn't be it wouldn't make any sense. So seeing how excited you've been is really
well,
comforting.
look, let me tell you this, Toya. If you did not even have anything planned but to come up here and walk around this beautiful and just inhale this fresh air, it will be a success. I mean,
Oh,
because it is so peaceful up here. And you
it
got
is.
some comments. This is my
I see.
cousin. She said, I think this is something my daughter Shayna would like to do. And Shayna is my cousin, first cousin. My father and her
Hey, Felicia.
um my father is her dad's uncle.
Oh,
So
nice. Okay.
and everything. So and her mother Felicia said it would be something she would try. So Felicia, we're gonna get you there. We're gonna get you
Yeah, of
there.
course.
Hey,
Where you
definitely.
where are you located, or where's she located?
She's located in Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay. You know what? I know somebody wants to be an ambassador in Montgomery. So like I said, when if we put ambassadors there, I hope y'all will come out and join in on some of the hikes. Again, it's we're gonna meet you where you are. So
Oh,
if you're
honey,
not used to hiking,
Shayna would be an ambassador. She's that kind of girl, my
okay, then
cousin.
we'll tell her we got those applications ready for her. When she's ready,
Okay.
we'll go there. But
And look at this. Erica said heart disease, that fried chicken is not our friend.
okay,
Correct.
let's not slander the fried chicken. Let's
Look, look, Renee said, I'm letting my family know now. Next year, I'm gone.
That's what I'm talking about. Because again, we are definitely looking for Wine and Waterfalls weekend to be an annual event for sure.
Okay,
So
wow.
for anybody who is like, oh no, I missed out, you didn't miss out. You can always, one, make sure that you join the Outdoorsy Black women community, because we have more coming for you.
Okay.
And we'll definitely be having another Wine and Waterfalls weekend next year. And we have more. It's just exciting. Like I said, we have twerk and trails coming in July. We have sips and saddles coming, and we have some classes coming up, which would include kayaking and possibly outdoor education classes like how to navigate, as well as first aid in the outdoors, because I think it's important that if you're going to be out there, you know how to be outdoors safely.
Safely, yeah. And you know what? Speaking of, you was talking about the was it sips and saddles? Is that what you
Yes,
referred to?
ma'am.
That's gonna be the
Yes.
horseback riding. Now believe it or not, that's the one thing I did not perfect in the growing up in the country. I don't know why. My uncle had all kind of horses. I've been on the horse, but I just never rode off them. That was the one animal we never managed to have at our house.
Did
We
you
got
like
all
did you like it when you
yeah, I liked
Okay,
it. I liked it.
that's
I'm
good.
not afraid of a horse. I'm not afraid of them
That's a good thing then. That's a
at
good thing. I
all.
mean, horses, I know, and you've been around them. I know for some people they can be intimidating because until you're around, like you're right next to a horse, I don't think you realize how big they are. But
Mhm.
the biggest thing, again, with doing sips and saddles, I'll say this: we're working with a another black woman owned ranch in Atlanta.
Wow. Okay.
So she's very big on safety and making sure that everybody has a fun experience and a safe experience. And she'll make sure that everyone that comes is going to be really comfortable with their horse.
Renee said she enjoyed bareback. Really? We
But she-
found something. She would get on a horse.
Okay then. So that just means you're coming out to sips and saddles. Got it.
But look, guess what she added? But I'm afraid of them too. Well, at least you can.
At least she's being honest. But you know what? We all know that horses can feel, you know, when
Yeah.
you're afraid and tense. So again, I know with her name is Keisha, and that's who we'll be working with for that particular event. I know she's big on making sure that everybody's on the right horse and that they're comfortable. So that's going to be really exciting. I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you're doing this, Toyin, because we're tearing down those stereotypes. There is no such thing per se as a white sport, a black sport. All of these things can be done by any person, any culture, any race, ethnicity, or
Right.
whatever. Whether you have, as they don't say disabilities, different abilities. I
Right. Right.
mean, for Birmingham, the World Games are coming there this year.
Right.
And I was looking at some, I had to go look up all these different, I was like, what is that? What is that? And they have
Mhm.
wheelchair sports and, whoa, have you all seen some of those wheelchair people? Wow.
Well, listen, when I
That's
love to
rough.
watch the Paralympics. So like the Paralympics during like when they just had it for I think winter sports, and I was
Hmm.
watching the Paralympics basketball, which I'm just like,
Yeah.
this is so it's amazing because I mean they have to think about the extra with
Yeah.
wheeling and
Rolling.
also like rolling themselves and also shooting, and I'm just like, that's amazing. Like I think it's dope.
Yeah.
Um, but to mention when you say breaking down those barriers, there's so much history for Black people when it comes to different sports. I mean, Althea Gibson, she
Yes.
wasn't only the first Black woman, she wasn't just the first Black person to win a Grand Slam because she won a Grand Slam before Arthur Ashe, which
Yeah.
most people we don't talk about that. But she was also the first Black woman in the PGA.
Okay.
So she was also the first Black professional golfer, Black woman professional
Wow.
golfer. And
I
so
mean,
when I
it's
think
so
about
much.
so much history, and so that's why I say like with breaking down those barriers, almost like reconnecting to who we've already been because we've been doing these things. We just got to get back out there.
And start doing them. Start. I
Yeah,
mean, I know my dad. He hated when winter came almost. Because if it got really cold, he was like, I feel like I'm being forced to be in the house more than I
yeah, I get
want
that.
to. And
I get that.
like I said, it was like it was against the law to stay in the house. You could not stay cooped up in the house when I was growing up. That was
Yeah,
like
you
people
gotta
sat
go
on their
outside.
porches, and then people sat on their porches and actually waved at their neighbors and interacted with each other. Where now we're all, that's why we have vitamin D deficiency because we're all
Listen,
locked in.
I'll say this. That's one thing I learned about. being in the camping and RVing community. It's people still say hi to each other. And most people in the RV lifestyle, I think it's just because we're also free spirited for to some effect. They'll say hi, and people like to get to know each other, but they all have the understanding that we're all just passing through. So far, most of the RVers that I've met have been really, really friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Erica said we could only stay in when it rained. Correct.
I
And it
know.
had to be no, it wasn't just rain, Erica. It had to be torrential downpouring.
Right. Because if it's a light drizzle, you can still be outside a little bit.
Yeah, that thing that did not count at
Go
all.
outside.
So
Go get
I
some fresh
am
air.
looking forward to just following you and join. I'm definitely going to join in. So Lakeitha, if
Thank
you out there, I will be getting involved. Cause look, I'm a nurse by training,
you. Mhm.
and I'll be 50. Well, what will I be? I'll be 57, I think, in October.
There
Or
you
will I be
go.
58? 57. I'll be 57. So definitely realizing the need to be more active and agile as you age. So I'm telling all the young folks, don't come to this enlightenment, even though I've been a nurse. I've always exercised, but now it's just more personal.
Right.
And also reclaiming my life since my children are grown
I know
and
that's
just
right.
really self care and taking care of me and doing things that I enjoy and just hanging out. And you all, I want to say this, Toya, because we didn't mention this. A lot of people think you have to go with someone you know. You can
Right.
come and join something like this as a solo person
Yeah,
and you get
absolutely.
to meet somebody.
Mhm.
Stop
We do
watching
have
all this
quite
stuff
a
on
few
TV.
people. Yeah, we have quite a few women that are coming solo, and because they have this community and they feel safe in this community and just excited to have others, Black women that they can relate to. I think they're more encouraged to come out by themselves, which they were excited about that. And the other thing you mentioned, I love the wide age range that we have coming to Wine and Waterfalls.
Okay.
So we have some women in their 20s, some women in their 30s, 40s, women in their 50s, and I think we have two women that are in their 60s.
Okay.
So there's no age range or age limit to getting outdoors. Um, we've taken away all the excuses, right? You don't have to smell like the outdoors no more. You don't have to worry about your age. It doesn't matter how fit you are. Basically, it's just about starting where you are comfortable, finding what works for you, and then being encouraged to try new things and expand your horizons.
Yeah. Well, I've really enjoyed, I say, and this has been my first challenge of doing this on my tablet.
No, I
Hey,
think it worked out great. You did wonderful.
yeah, and really, when I was going to the house, something just, it's well, I'm gonna say the Holy Spirit because that's why I give credit for giving me, telling me things. It said, get your tablet because I wasn't gonna bring it. So,
Oh, well,
and look,
see,
you
there you
all, this is after we did a test.
go.
This happened after we did a test. So you got to be able to pivot and flexible and let you know how mellow I've gotten. See, back in the day, I would have been highly frustrated and whatever. I was like, no. Oh, my cousin said, here come number
Hi.
three in her
That's
60s.
right, Felicia. We got come on and join us. Come on and join us. And thank you all, everybody who's out there listening and that tuned in. Thank you all for, giving me the opportunity to speak to you about this. I hope that you ladies will join the community. And we actually have a group on there since you mentioned it, Felicia. One of the ladies started a group for women 50 and older. So there's a
Okay,
WhatsApp
great.
group on there just for older ladies who want to connect with each other, and I love that.
Great, great. And I want to read this comment that Renee just typed in. She said, I love the outdoors, but have fear of things that move that are outdoors. I look forward to broadening my horizons. Thank you for doing this, Toya, and the history lessons because you really educated me. So I'm looking forward to this weekend getting more history lessons.
Oh,
So you all look,
thank you.
we got things to do.
We got
So
wine to drink.
yeah, we got this is wine. This is wine and waterfalls. You know, hey, this is not no Jack Daniels. This is wine and waterfalls. Okay,
Right. We
and we
got you.
ain't got nowhere to go. We just out here chilling.
Listen, we got wine to drink, food to eat, and waterfalls to check out. But I guess I do want to answer because I know Renee asked how do you follow me. So You can
Boom, there it is.
okay, now I see you. I see you. So you can follow me on social media at Outdoorsy Black Women, or you can join the site at outdoorsyblackwomen.com. We also have an app on which is available on iOS for your iPhones or Android phones, and it's free to join the community, ladies. There is a verification process, but it's completely free to join, and then you can connect with other outdoorsy Black women.
And I've actually placed all of that in the chat
That's what I'm talking
for them to
about.
have access to.
Thank you.
So look, it's been great. And you all, next week, I won't be in this beautiful, lovely place. I'll be back in Birmingham. But we're going to have a singer. We hadn't had an artist in a while
Nice.
because we pivoted and started doing some things. And I also want to mention that you all, this is Mental Health Awareness Month. So if you want to take care of your mental health, go out in nature. I promise you.
Yes.
Anxiety level will go down. You know, some of you all got those Fitbit watches and different things. They stay in the red on your stress level. I promise you, you probably get your first blue that you ever
I
had
will
in
say
your life.
my anxiety has gone my anxiety levels have gone down a whole lot more since I've been spending more time outdoors. So it really does help.
Yeah, and I have a friend right now. She's in California, but she's planning on moving back home. She's a nurse. She actually sold her BMW, bought a was it those vans,
A
and
camper van?
retrofitted it. And
That's what I'm talking about.
that's what
Yeah,
she lived in. So I'm definitely gonna make sure she gets connected
I love that.
to you. And she does little YouTube videos too about how to be safe
Oh,
and
good.
where to park and those things. So I would
I
definitely
love that.
make sure you all meet. So you
Yes.
all, we want again thank Miss Toya for joining us. And what we try to do on Conversation is Art, we like for you to leave our audience with some words of wisdom, whatever you want to share with them.
My words of wisdom would be don't be afraid to live your best life.
Wow.
That's my biggest one. Just life is too short. We learned a lot from COVID when it came that anything can happen tomorrow. So don't push those things that you want to do today. Don't push them off to
Yeah.
tomorrow. Just
And
live.
definitely, you know, you all, it's time to stop having these long bucket lists and you haven't done one thing on it. So
Yeah.
get away to your local park on the weekend. That's a start. That's a
Start,
start
and if you have your bucket list, just look at the easiest thing for you to knock that off and work your way through it. But today is now. Today is the day to start it. So,
for sure. Look,
Renee,
Renee talking about thank you, nothing will eat me. What I'm
Renee,
gonna do
you
with
can
her?
go home in one piece. We'll make sure. We'll make sure.
That's funny.
Hi,
Well, look.
Shayna. So I see she's
Oh
out
yeah,
here.
Shana has logged on. Okay then.
That's so
Look, she
funny.
said, "Well, I guess I need to check this out." Correct, Shana. I will be getting in contact with you when I get back. So you all, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being patient till we got on. Make sure you like and share this with others so our
Mhm.
fan base will grow as well as everybody will get this because we had to push back for Toyin because she was prepared. So I know some of our regular fans did not get to log on, but hey, we don't care if they were live or if they watch it later. The point is that they get this information.
That's right.
So you all have a wonderful night, and I'm getting ready to go enjoy my Mother's Day. Thank you,
It's more
Felice
time.
Nicole Jones, for bringing me in your Auntie Renee role. We love you. Y'all have a good night. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye.